Hello everyone, and welcome back to another session of Dark Souls 2 PvP and another weapon showcase. This time I am using the Possessed Armor Sword, which you can get as a drop from the Possessed Armor enemies in the second DLC, the Crown of the Old Iron King. Now, this is a sword which I enjoy very much. I find its moveset to be fantastic and just overall fun to use. So, getting started on the weapon, it requires 20 strength and 13 dexterity in order to wield. It has an E scaling in strength and an E in dexterity, as well as a C in fire. The physical base damage of the weapon is 170, and the fire base damage of the weapon is 100. The attack rating of the weapon is 454 with a Ring of Blades and Flynn's Ring, for me. And the counter strength of the weapon is 110, poise damage is 25 per hit, and finally the weight is 5 units. Now, when you're using this weapon, I do recommend that you infuse it with fire, because you don't have much in the way of dexterity or strength scaling anyway, and it only helps to bring up that fire scaling higher. So when you do infuse it, your E scalings will drop down to a lower tier of E, and your C scaling in fire will bump up to a B. That's good stuff. The physical base damage will drop down to a 142, and your fire base will go up to a 156. Again, more good stuff. And for me, the attack rating changed to a 504 with a Ring of Blades and Flynn's Ring from a 454 with said rings. So, there's that. Now, the biggest pro of this weapon, I would have to say, would be the moveset. I find this moveset to be very enjoyable, and in some ways it reminds me of the Lois Greatsword. With the Lois Greatsword, they gave straight sword attacks to a greatsword. Well, with this straight sword, they gave it a greatsword attack. 2 greatsword attacks, specifically. Those 2 attacks would be the one-handed R2 and the two-handed rolling attack. So, because of that, you can actually get some really nice combos with it, and it's very, very satisfying to kill someone with that one-handed R2. Just the fact that it moves in so slowly and just smashes down on their face, it's so nice. I really enjoy that. But, moving on. You've got some fairly decent damage as well on this weapon, and the inherent buff really does help out quite a bit, and that's definitely another good pro of the weapon. So, there's that. I'm not entirely sure how much of a buff it actually is. I'm not entirely sure if it's better than Flame Weapon, or if it's worse than Flame Weapon, if it's better than Charcoal Pine Resin or not. I really don't know. If someone does, please feel free to leave that down in the comments if you know some exact values. But otherwise, it's still a good pro. It's still a buff that you can use either way and you always have access to, provided you have enough durability to do it without breaking your weapon. Now, that being said, in my opinion, the biggest con of this weapon is the durability, because you can only buff your weapon a certain number of times, and if you're not paying attention, you'll end up getting yourself into a bit of trouble. But, that all being said, it doesn't happen very often. Really, I mean, this weapon, it's a straight sword. It's got inherent elemental damage, so, of course, Great Magic Barrier is something to watch out for, but is that really a con? I would say it's not that much of one, because you do have this inherent buff which can help offset the damage that would be reduced by Great Magic Barrier. So, it is what it is. It's a straight sword with a good moveset, a unique moveset in a way among straight swords, and it's just very satisfying to use. So, honestly, if you have not checked out this weapon, I would highly recommend it. It's very fun. I love using this thing, and I probably will be using it a lot more in the future. So, there's one fight left after this one, and it is pretty short, so I'm just going to end things here. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it helpful in one way or another. Please like, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and I will see you all next time.